So yesterday, boys and girls, we started reviewing chapter 2. Chapter 2 of our Go Math books actually happens to be a really, really short chapter. It only had 5 lessons. So we're going to review chapter 2, what we've learned, so we can prepare for our math exam later on this week. So on our Google Classroom, I uploaded our chapter 2 review presentation. If you click on this link right here, it'll bring you to our YouTube Studios channel. So if you have not yet been able to connect to that website, please let me know and I will get you connected to it. So yesterday we were working from page 111. So this is towards the end of your book. It's a review of what we've done in chapter 2. So let me share a different screen with you so you can see the work that we did. So for this chapter, for just one question, they ask you to do many different things, okay? So first you have to count, then label, and then you have to write the numbers on the lines. And sometimes they might even ask you to look for the greater number. Sometimes they might ask you to look for the number that's less, which is a smaller number. If there's 5 frames, if they have a 5 frame on top and the bottom, then they're going to want you to match the sets by making a line from one 10 frame to the next 10 frame. Now, in this review, they have you looking for 2 answers. But on the actual math exam, you won't need to look for 2 answers. It'll just be 1 answer. But I still am doing this review with you, boys and girls, so that way you could get good practice and that way you know what to expect for the end of the week, okay? Now, we're going to continue on page 113. So if you have your math books, we are on page 113 with the heart that is pink, and inside of it, it has a number 7. So this is going to be a problem that we're going to do again step by step. I'm going to explain the directions once, and then I'm going to take apart the instructions, and we're going to do it one step at a time. So for number 7, it says, Maria has these apples. Draw a set of oranges below the apples that has the same number. Compare the sets by matching. Write how many pieces of fruit in each set. Okay, so that was a lot of information just for one question. So we're going to take apart the question piece by piece. Let's look at the first 2 sentences. It says, Maria has these apples. So everyone look at your apples. They're right there on the shelf on top. They want us to draw a set of oranges. So the shape of an orange, circle. They want us to draw a set of oranges below the apples that has the same number. So we're going to line up our oranges right below the apples. So I'm going to stand up the smartboard. I'm going to start illustrating my oranges right below the apples, and it has to be the same number. So let's see, I have 1 apple, 1 orange, 2 apples, 2 oranges, 3 apples, 3 oranges, 4 apples, 4 oranges, 5 apples.
Are you on mute?
What happened, Alina?
Alina's on mute. Miss Castro, I can't see the screen.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen and then I'll share it once more. Can you see it now, Alina?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for All right, so looking back at the work that we just started, we drew oranges right below the apples. So what I need to do next, I need to count and label the apples, and then I'm going to write the number on the line. Then I'm going to count and label the oranges, and I'm going to write that.
I can't see you.
Hold on.
You can't see Kimora? Okay, let me stop sharing.
Yes,
One more.
not you.
Let me share it again. Can you see it now, Kimora?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. All right, let's continue. We're going to count and label the oranges. No, the apples first. Those are the ones that are on top. So that's 1 apple, 2, 3, 4, 5. stopping at 5 because 5 is the amount of apples that I counted. So on the line, I'm going to write the number 5. Now I'm going to count and label the oranges. Right below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm stopping at 5 because I counted and labeled 5 oranges. So on the line, I'm going to write the number 5. Next, they wanted us to compare the sets by matching. So when we match, we have to draw a line from 1 apple to 1 orange, all the way to the end. So let's do that next. 1 apple to 1 orange. The next apple to the next orange. Next apple to the next orange. And you keep going until they're connected. Okay? So that was all the work just for that one question. Question 7. So I'll give you guys another minute to finish that up, and then we're going to continue on to the next problem. Okay, next problem. Number 8 with the fish. It's in that blue rectangle down at the bottom of the page, okay? I'm going to read to you the instructions, and then we're going to break it apart piece by piece. It says, Amy has 2 crayons. Draw Amy's crayons. Brad has 1 more crayon than Amy. How many crayons does Brad have? Draw Brad's crayons. Write how many in each set. So now we're going to take apart the information and we're going to do it step by step. First it says, Amy has 2 crayons. Draw Amy's crayons. Okay, so on top, we're going to focus on Amy. Amy has 2 crayons. So to show the crayons, I'm just going to simply draw circles. I'm not going to go crazy drawing crayons because then I'm going to waste too much time with that. So I'm going to draw 2 circles for the 2 crayons that Amy has on top. So here is 1 crayon, 2 crayons. So Amy has 2 crayons. So on the line, the top line, I'm going to write the number 2 because 2 is how many Amy has for her crayons. The next part of the problem says Brad has 1 more crayon. So Brad has 1 more crayon than Amy. So if Amy has 2 crayons, we have to think what's 1 more than 2. Let me sit at the computer and I'll look at the videos. Who wants to help us figure that out? If Amy has 2 crayons, Brad has 1 more than Amy. So it would be the next number after 2. So what's 1 more than 2 crayons? Elijah?
3.
Correct. So for Brad, down below, Amy, what we drew for Amy, we're going to illustrate 3. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. And on the line, we're going to write the number 3. And that's it. So for this problem, they don't want us to match the set. So we're not going to draw lines connecting one group to the next group. Okay? So on top, there's 2 circles for the 2 crayons that Amy has. Then they said Brad has 1 more than Amy. So 1 more number than the number 2. The next number.
I can see Miss Castro.
I can't see.
You can't see it, Roslyn? Hold on. Let me stop sharing. Let me share the screen one more time. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for letting me know, Roslyn. So, going back to what I said, you have to listen to the words of the problem that they're asking you. Sometimes they'll say 1 more, or maybe they might say 1 less. So when they ask for 1 more, you think of the next number that goes after. If they say 1 less, then that means you have to go backwards. You have to count backwards a number, okay? Now, next and last page. Page 114. Question number 9. Compare the number of red counters in each set to the number of blue counters. Draw lines from the sets of the counters to the words that show the same number, greater than or less than. Okay, so we have to look at the blue counters first. Then we have to look at all our choices. We have to connect the red counters to the words that describe if it's the same number, or if it's greater than or less than. So let's count the blue circles. We have, I'm going to make dots. So that means I'm using my magic finger. 1, 2, 3. I counted 3 blue dots, 3 blue circles. Now, I need to count each of the red circles. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 red circles. 4 is going to be compared to the 3 blue circles. So if I have 3 blue circles and I have 4 red circles, the 4 is a greater number than 3. So I'm going to connect the dot from the 4 dots to the words that say greater than, because the 4 red circles are greater than the 3 blue circles. Now we're going to count the next set of red circles. I'm counting 1, 2. So now I'm going to compare the red circles to the blue circles. 3 blue circles, 2 blue circles. 2 blue circles is actually a number that's less. It's a smaller number. So I'm going to connect the dots from the 2 red circles to the words that say less than. And I love seeing how everyone's working in their math books with their pencils in their hands, very focused. You guys are doing a great job. Last but not least, we're counting the last set of red circles. So we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 red circles, 3 blue circles. That's the same number. So I'm going to connect the 3 red circles to the words that say same number. All right, last problem, number 10. So number 10, this is what they're saying. Draw 4 counters. Now draw a set that has a greater number of counters. How many are in each set? We're going to write the numbers. Then they want us to use green to color the set with the greater number of counters, and use blue to color the set with the numbers that are less than the green set. Okay, this is a lot of information. Don't worry about the coloring just yet. Let's focus on getting the work done. Okay, so first it says draw 4 counters. So we're going to do this at the top. Okay, so draw 4 and label circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the line, we're going to write 4. For the bottom part, they want us to illustrate a number of counters that's greater. So it has to be a bigger number than 4. So if we think of the next number after 4, 1 more than 4 is 5. So we're going to illustrate 5 circles and write the number 5 on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the line, I'm going to write the number 5. Now, they don't want us to match the set, so we're not going to connect anything by drawing lines. We're not going to do that. Instead, they wanted us to use crayons to color. Now, if you have crayons available, boys and girls, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. If you don't have crayons or color pencils available, don't worry about it. You can always finish this up later today, okay? So we're going to use green to color the set with the greater number. So let's look at both sets. We have 4 and we have 5. We have to color the greater number. So the greater number is the bigger number. So looking at 4 and looking at the number 5, the number that's greater is the number 5. So if you have your green crayon or green color pencil, we're going to color the 5 circles that we made green. Okay, so it'll look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Then they wanted to use blue for the set that has less. So the only set left is the one on top with 4. So we're going to color those blue up top. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's it. We're not going to circle any of the numbers that are on the line because what they wanted us to do this time was a little different. They wanted us to color the sets. And if it's a greater number, we colored it green. If it was the less group, we colored it blue. Okay? So I'll leave the screen up for another minute, and then I will speak to the families. Today, Tuesday, I'm working with Elijah, Jace, and Skyla. So you 3 will not get off. Everyone else will get off as soon as I finish speaking to everyone, and you 3 will stay on with me, okay? All right, I'm gonna leave the screen up for a few more seconds. You can finish it up, and then we are going to finish.